It might come to some as a bit ironic as Americans prepare to mark the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence this July 4th. King Charles III and Queen Camilla of the United Kingdom are in Washington this week for a 4-day state visit. They're here in the United States until April 30th. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump welcomed the King and Queen at the White House yesterday with a ceremonial arrival, tea in the green room, and a tour of the South Lawn Beehive. Now, the royals' schedule includes a formal state dinner, a rare address by the king to a joint session of Congress, and stops in New York and in Virginia. Buckingham Palace and the White House have described the trip as a celebration of the historic connections between the two nations ahead of America's 250th birthday. The historic visit echoes the founding of the United States. 250 years ago, colonists in this land rose up against the British Crown. The Declaration of Independence, signed July 4th, 1776, listed 27 grievances against King Charles III's ancestor, King George III. Among the most explosive of those grievances from 250 years ago, for imposing taxes on us without our consent. Now, the British Parliament then had levied the Stamp Act and the Tea Act on colonists who had no seats in the House of Commons. This sparked the infamous Boston Tea Party that you learned about as a child in grade school. No taxation without representation became the mantra of the colonists that helped ignite the American Revolution in those days. The war that followed cost thousands of lives and billions in today's dollars. But it secured the principle that free people would not surrender their earnings to a distant monarch or legislature that they did not elect. Today, that same royal line returns as not a ruler, but as an honored guest, underscoring how far Anglo-American relations have come. Britain and the United States are close allies, trading partners, and fellow democracies. The king's presence meant to symbolize reconciliation and shared values more than 2 centuries after America declared independence. Today, President Donald Trump shared a few words during a ceremony on the White House lawn.
Here in the shadows of monuments to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, honoring the British King might seem an ironic beginning to our celebration of 250 years of American independence. But in fact, no tribute could be more appropriate. Long before Americans had a nation or a constitution, we first had a culture, a character, and a creed. Before we ever proclaimed our independence, Americans carried within us the rarest of gifts, moral courage, and it came from a small but mighty kingdom from across the sea. For nearly 2 centuries before the Revolution, this land was settled and forged by men, women who bore in their souls the blood and noble spirit of the British. Here on a wild and untamed continent, they set loose the ancient English love of liberty and the Great Britain's distinctive sense of glory, destiny, and pride. And that's what it is, glory, destiny, and pride. The American patriots who pledged their lives to independence in 1776 were the heirs to this majestic inheritance. Their veins ran with Anglo-Saxon courage. Their hearts beat with an English faith in standing firm for what is right, good, and true.
Now, for you, the American taxpayer, this occasion could carry a practical reminder. State visits are expensive. Think about the costs of the Secret Service, military honor guards, White House logistics, motorcades, and enhanced security that's funneled by federal appropriations, also known as your tax dollars. Past comparable visits have run into the millions of taxpayer funding. While exact figures for this trip have not been released, the pattern's familiar. Diplomatic hospitality comes with a price tag borne by American taxpayers, not the British Crown or the UK government. Now, this isn't an argument against diplomacy. Strong ties with allies serve U.S. national interests in trade, intelligence, and security. But here at the Center Square, we exist to shine the light on government spending, and this moment invites reflection. The founders revolted over taxes imposed without their voice. While today Americans enjoy full representation in Congress, we still underwrite the cost of hosting foreign dignitaries, royals included, through federal budgets. Now, as the nation counts down to July 4th, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, events like this royal visit puts history and present-day fiscal reality side by side. The ceremony at the White House is a photo opportunity for sure, and a gesture of friendship. Behind it lies the enduring American spirit and principle that every tax dollar should be spent with accountability, consent, and restraint. Now, the King and Queen will depart Thursday. The anniversary celebrations continue throughout the summer. For taxpayers watching the ledger, the lesson remains the same. One the founders etched into the founding document. Representation matters, consent matters, and the cost of government must never be taken lightly.